Good morning. It is Tuesday. It is 10 a.m. I have my coffee. Jill, I assume you have your coffee. Allison, I assume you have your water. If my mother is here, I assume she has her Diet Coke. Yes, it's a very warm Tuesday. Jill, do you still drink hot coffee on warm days like today, or do you switch to iced coffee? I'm prone to switching to iced coffee after noon on really hot days. And my mother might chuckle at us for us calling it warm when it's only it's 79 already. So yes, it's going to be warm today. I think it's supposed to be 96 degrees, a high of 96 or somewhere in there. It's terrible. Jill, do you drink hot coffee all day? Jill said she drinks hot coffee. I wonder if that's all day though. Yeah, it was so hot. It was so hot yesterday. The children and I slept downstairs in the room with the portable air conditioner, while Jamie and Amber slept upstairs in the bedroom with the portable air conditioner. Okay, I'll tell Amber. She'll bring the gaggle of children. What's the technical numerical value of gaggle? She might come join you. She might hang out. She might come play and enjoy respite. What's the right word for that? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Relief from the heat. It's not too bad in the rooms that have the air conditioners, though. It's the rooms that don't have air conditioners that it gets terrible. Yeah, but when you kind of don't need air conditioner 46 weeks out of the year. And then the other ones you just endure and you say, Lord, teach me to count this trial with joy. Allison, aka Harry, says, silly air conditioner. To each their own, Allison. If you can manage it, if you can endure it, then so be it. I would rather not. So one day my house will have air conditioning, or I'll have a house that has air conditioning. We'll see. Lord willing, one day. And you know what? It'll be okay until we get there. And if we don't ever get there, we'll still be okay. Because the Lord will sustain us. I can do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens me. Passage out of context. Yes, that would be an inappropriate application of that passage. All right, let's get going. We got Are You Ready? Part 19 this morning. And we will look at the slide I had, or the little box I had typed in didn't save. So it said Revelation 7, and I just fixed it to say Revelation 8, because that's what we're in today. Announcements-wise, we've got just the main announcement is that we've got Vacation Bible Camp all week, and we have barbecue on Friday. That's everyone is welcome to come for that. We would love for you to come and interact with families that have attended, their kids have attended Vacation Bible Camp. We have a message about the change that the Apostle Paul goes through in Acts chapter 9, where Jesus does the impossible in changing Paul's heart. And then we'll have food and fun. You'll see the dance and all that stuff. So we hope that you'll plan to be here. If you live locally, church members, we hope that you'll come and just interact with the people and get to know them. Sit with people you don't know and show them the love of Christ and the welcoming spirit that a church family can be, and build some relationships. Get to know them. It's an awesome opportunity, and there'll be games and there's food, and the building will be air conditioned. I don't know if it'll be that hot that day, but it will definitely be hotter than our normal 70. So come hang out with us and have fun and hear what the Lord did all week. So can't think of any other announcements off the top of my head. So let's jump into Revelation chapter 8. And we see John is continuing with his heavenly vision and the scrolls and the seals and all the crazy stuff happening. And when he saw the Lamb who's the only one capable of opening the seals, he opened the seventh seal. And there was, why did that not work? There we go. The seventh seal. So the seal, 7 is a number of perfection. So the full number, it is complete. And he said there was silence in heaven for about an hour and a half, about half an hour, not an hour and a half, about half an hour. It was totally silent when the Lamb opens the seal. And then John sees 7 angels. So again, that number 7, number of completion. So we shouldn't necessarily interpret these as literally 7. Could be, but it could just represent a total number, the perfect number, the right number. It's God's way of distinguishing that this is the right amount. The angels who stand before God and the 7 trumpets were given to them. So again, 7, these numbers should be jumping off the page at us as we read them. It says, trumpets were given to them, and another angel came and stood at the altar with a golden censer, and he was given much incense to offer with the prayers of the saints on the golden altar before the throne. So the saints offer up prayers, which are a form of incense to God, and they, with what the angel has, there is worship happening in heaven. Prayers are a means of worship. And this is all happening before the throne room of God. It says, the smoke of the incense with the prayers of the saints rose before God from the hand of the angel. Then the angel took the censer and filled it with fire from the altar and threw it on earth. And there were peals of thunder, rumblings, flashes of lightning, and an earthquake. It's a terrifying situation. This is to be, this is no laughing matter, shall we say. Let me roll myself down. So he says, there's this, the censer is thrown to the earth, and it's evident everywhere that this is occurring. Now the 7 angels who had the 7 trumpets prepared to blow them. The first angel blew his trumpet, and there followed hail and fire mixed with blood, and these were thrown upon the earth, and a third of the earth was burned up, and the third of the trees were burned up, and all green grass was burned up. Terrifying. This is like what you see in a post-apocalyptic movie. This is like a nuclear blast. This is like everything is being scorched. This is scorched earth strategy, and it is taking a third of all the plant life, all the grass. Everything is just utter destruction at this. This should terrify and encourage those who are his. The second angel blew his trumpet, and something like a great mountain burning with fire was thrown into the sea, and a third of the sea became blood, and a third of the living creatures in the sea died, and a third of the ships were destroyed. Sounds an awful lot like a meteor, an asteroid, a giant fiery ball flying into the ocean and just taking a third of it with it. Notice again, these numbers, a third, 3 is also a perfect, an ideal number in Jewish mind, 3, 7, and 10. And so this is essentially referring and encouraging us to see that this is the right amount. And so as we see this, a third of the sea became blood, a third of the living creatures in the sea died, and a third of the ships were destroyed. God is releasing his wrath on the earth because of their lack of faith and their worship of Satan. And this is punishment. It says, the third angel blew his trumpet, and a great star fell from heaven, blazing like a torch, and it fell on a third of the rivers and on the springs of water. The name of the star is Wormwood. A third of the waters became wormwood, and many people died from the water because it had been made bitter. So the water now is no longer usable, and it is bitter. So although the mountain sounds like a meteorite or an asteroid, the great star fell from heaven, that sounds like an asteroid or a meteorite. All these things these natural disasters are occurring in the world and causing these things, well, supernatural natural disasters, right? They might be natural means of something that we would consider happens normally in nature, but they are being used by God to cause something supernatural to occur. It could be not natural, but just entirely supernatural, or it could be natural used in a supernatural way, like God using pestilence and those things and controlling it and using it for his purpose. So God is causing these things to happen. These things are all under God's control. Notice that they don't occur until the angel blows until the angels blow their trumpet. Why is that not working? One day we will get this right. It will work perfectly every time. And then it won't work perfectly because it's technology and anyhow. All these things are utterly under the sovereignty of God. They don't occur until the angels blow the trumpets, and the angels didn't blow the trumpets until Jesus opened the scroll and released and opened the seventh seal. So all these things we are meant to see and remember are under God's sovereign decree and control. None of this, what is being told to us, related to us, is outside his purview. He is utterly in control. This is all meant to point us to his sovereignty in the midst of terrible situations. The fourth angel blew his trumpet, and a third of the sun was struck, and a third of the moon, and a third of the stars, so that a third of the light might be darkened, and a third of the day might be kept from shining, and likewise a third of the night. The earth is dimmed. This could either be the natural consequences of a meteorite, two meteorites, an asteroid and a meteorite hitting the earth and causing dust and various things to blow up into the sky. And just like when Mount St. Helens blew up, the temperatures dropped. Those things it could be related to that, or it could just literally be that the sun was struck and a third of the moon. And so the light just gets dimmed. It's like God puts it on a dimmer and he turns it down. Either way, it doesn't matter. This is all in God's control. God is sovereign over nature. We are told that he causes rain to fall on the just and the wicked. He causes people to be born where they are to be born. God is in control of the natural. We see this throughout the book of Psalms. We see it in Egypt as he's causing the plagues to come upon them. We see like he uses hail. So he uses a natural thing to accomplish his sovereign and God-directed will. He uses that which he created for his purpose. Kind of sounds like us too. He uses us for his purpose. What does the Apostle Paul say in Romans chapter 9? That what is the clay to say to the potter? What does the pot have to say to the potter? It's the potter that has the right to determine what the clay and pot are used for, not the other way around. And so God can use his natural his natural creation, the order of creation, to accomplish what he wants. There's no objections. God does what he pleases. Psalm 115, verse 3, our God is in heaven and he does as he pleases. So he could use natural means to make these occur, or he can use supernatural means. They're being guided and directed by him, whether they are things that the world might just look at and say, yeah, that's just the way things are. Or if we have the ability to see and interpret, we can say, man, that kind of looks like judgment. It's like there was at one point in time in 2010 or so that a Lutheran denomination was voting on whether or not to affirm gay marriage. And in the midst of their meeting for this purpose, they had a tornado hit the building that they were meeting in. It's like, maybe we should pay attention. Maybe God is at work even in nature. So these things are being caused by God, whether they are supernatural, totally out of the normal, or they are natural things being directed and caused by God. But the fact that they're all stacked on top of each other makes you kind of think, man, he's trying to get their attention. He's trying to get the world's attention. Hey. And he says, then I looked and I heard an eagle crying with a loud voice as it flew directly overhead. an eagle is talking. There's only been a couple other times that animals have talked in the Bible. Garden and Balaam's donkey. I can't think of anything else. There could be another one in there, but not off the top of my head. He says, whoa, 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 3 woes. 3, again, number to remind us of fullness. Holy, holy, holy is what Isaiah says the angels declared about God in Isaiah chapter 6. So whoa, whoa, whoa. So whoa, not just a little bit of woe, but a whole lot of woe to those who dwell on the earth at the blast of the other trumpets that the 3 angels are about to blow. So if you thought it was bad before this point, it's only going to get worse. This is not a time that you want to look forward to. It's not a time that you should be like excited about. This is, I mean, you should be excited because it's going to bring Jesus, but the road you have to get there through first is terrible. And whether we're there or not, who knows? Jesus knows, but whether we're there or not, who knows? Whether the church is there or not, who knows? So what is happening is that God is releasing the full brunt of his wrath on the earth, and it is utterly within his control. And friends, these terrible things that are occurring are not outside his plan and his purposes. So when we see things that are like, man, that's terrible, when we see fires or natural disasters or like previous passages like wars and pestilence and famine, God is using all these things, and these are utterly under his control. It should remind us and encourage us that nothing stands outside his sovereignty. It's all, why didn't that work? It's all his. He is in control. Jesus, 100%. God the Father, 100%. Holy Spirit, 100%. This event, these things that are happening, these things that John is perceiving that will happen, are being used by God for his purpose. So even when the world seems like it's out of control, even when it doesn't seem like anything could get any worse, we need to be reminded that all these things are under his divine providence. Friends, that should comfort us, knowing that God is capable of and able to and uses even the natural disasters, the wills of men, the consequences of war. All these things are under God's control, even when humanity doesn't realize it. In the prophets in the Old Testament, we're told that Cyrus, who an evil, wicked man, I think we would say he was an evil, wicked man. He did wicked things. He was not a nice guy. But God calls him his servant because he accomplishes his purpose to chastise and discipline Israel. Friends, all these things we need to be reminded of and see that God is in control, and we need not worry. If these things are under God's control, if all this stuff is under his control, what do you have to worry about? The worst things that have come on the planet Earth are under God's control. Think about that. The worst. Think about the worst thing you've ever experienced. It's under his control. Joseph's being thrown into the pit by his brothers and then sold into slavery and then sold into Potiphar's house and then lied about and persecuted and false testimony given against him. God's plan. Being thrown into prison, meeting the baker and the cupbearer and interpreting their dreams and being left to languish in prison, and not like prison that we have now. Their prison was, our prison's not joyful, but our prison makes theirs look like a cakewalk. Or their prison makes our prison look like a cakewalk. It was all in God's plan and God's purpose, and he orchestrated and used it for his good reasons, which was ultimately to the benefit of the people. and ultimately to the benefit of more than just Israel, but the nations at that point. And God will use all these things even for his good purposes and the benefits of those who will be his and for his name and glory. So, friends, I hope that's an encouragement to you as you think about the things that you will go through and the things you face and the things you faced in the past. What are the good things he's done and the ways he's used his hand? In Psalm 119, I was actually just reflecting the other day that it says that your discipline taught him to love the word that his way may be straight. I think that's a rough paraphrase of it. And it's in Psalm 119 somewhere, because that's a really long book of the Bible. You could go read it yourself if you haven't. Fabulous chapter in the book of Psalm, one of the best in the whole Bible, I think. But he talks about how discipline taught him to love and desire God's word, and affliction taught him to love and desire God's word more. And so there are good purposes even in the afflictions we experience, because they reveal God to us and his character. So, friends, let that be an encouragement to you that even when you face really terrible things, Jesus is still in control and he still has a good purpose in your life. All right, friends, I hope you have a great week. I will see you Friday for the barbecue. You should be praying for VBS or VBC. That's what we've been calling it this year. Please be praying for it each night from 6 to 8:15. Last night was awesome. We had 35 kids and we're expected to have more. We had 48 registered, but stuff happens and so people don't all come. But we would love for you to be praying for them. I think only about of the 35, about a third were kids that actively come to our church, and so that means there's 2/3 that don't. And we're praying that this will impact all of them, that whether they have faith yet or not, that they will be drawn closer to Jesus. Okay, friends, I hope you have a great week, and I will see you Friday or Sunday. Signing off.